Hello everyone, welcome to the Lord of the Rings Online, the SLOTRO edition. This is Gnarl'rynae here. Say hello to everyone, Gnarl'rynae. Good girl, when last we left off, and I do apologize, it has been a while since the last time we visited Gnarl'rynae here, has my favorite line in the story True Grit. If you ever read the book True Grit, both excellent movies, by the way, in their own right. Love the Coen Brothers remake. Love the original with John Wayne. The Coen Brothers is much closer to the book, especially toward the end. But yeah, I love the way the book ends, where Maddie is the old maid spinster of what, 40, 41? Yeah, she's an old spinster of 41, walking away from the Wild Bill Hickok traveling show, where she's found out that Rooster'd been traveling along with it, and she finds out that he has. I'm not going to give you away a spoiler here. So if you don't want to hear it, there's a spoiler for the next 15 seconds. But you know, people, it's a 50-year-old book now. It's a longer than that, maybe 50 or 60-year-old book, a 40 or 50-year-old movie, and then a 10-year-old remake. So spoiler time. She's found out Rooster has died. He was traveling with the traveling Wild West show there after he quit being a marshal, and that she's come to visit him as an old maid spinster of 40, and he has died of the night hoss, as he calls it. And as she's walking off, she says, "Time just gets away from us." And that was the last line of the movie. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that's what's happened. Time has just gotten away from us here. We are going to go work on some of these quests. Let's see here. I'm going to turn my light on? Yes, it does. There we go. We turn my light on. Looks like every quest we've got here from Gondamon. We had just finished up a couple. Everyone we've got left. If y'all remember, whenever I last was here, I was doing the elf line. We'd been up there, we'd talking to the emissary. She sent us up there to talk to Mathis, I think Stouthand is his name, maybe, the leader of Gondamon here. And then we didn't have a quest after that. We couldn't figure out where to go. Well, I think I put in my notes, where to go is the fact that that's where the elf line ends. The elf line of the prologue and the dwarf line of the prologue both end with him. Both come up to him, and then we go over there and we talk to the ranger at Thrassy's Lodge. And we had already gone and talked to the ranger at Thrassy's Lodge in the dwarf path. And that's where that would have gone. She sends us over there to talk to Matthew Stouthand. He tells us, I will not be accused of this. You elves can't tell one from the other. You need to go talk to the ranger over there. Talk to a neutral party. Go talk to the ranger who's at Thrassy's Lodge. And if y'all remember in the dwarf part of that, where we got to him, I'll throw the episode number up right here. Same kind of thing. It's like, the elves are accusing us of this, and he says, "Oh, those elves can't tell one from another. Can't tell a Longbeard from a Dourhand. They're never going to listen to me. So go and find this ranger and tell him the situation, and because they'll trust him since he's a supposed neutral party." So that's where both paths here come to their overlap. So that's the next one on the prologue. Is we're no longer on the elf path and the dwarf path. We're now on just the prologue path. But we've got these 5 quests here to finish up before we go over there. And one of them, we are looking for this Glamir. You remember they said this is it a dwarf named Glamir is supposed to be in a ruin right over here. Right over yonder is Ringdale. You also Ringdale right over here. That was the outpost of the Dourhands that we were fighting our way through, and the elves have been keeping an eye on. Is it an elf here or dwarf? I want to say dwarf. Yes, dwarf. Oh, it looks like a dwarf and an elf and another elf. All right, well, here's Glamir. That's the one that we need to talk to for these quests. So let's talk to, I'm assuming, let's say, Glamir's Vigil first, okay? Show the history. Okay, this is, Thinglir and Callanglil. Yes, this is Callanglil. Remember the two arguing, elves, that one of them wanted to leave Middle-earth, one of them wanted to stay in Middle-earth. We brought the Lay of Nimrodale to, Thinglir, and showed him a passage about the Lay of Nimrodale, and showed him a passage about the story, and it convinced him that, yes, he should stay here in Middle-earth and see it out, and said, we got another favor to ask you, since you've talked to me about it. It says, as Thinglir sent you to me, so might I ask a final favor of you. Our youngest brother has also taken this onus upon himself, and likely requires aid, as he has not yet returned to us. If you can help him, I would be grateful. Be warned that the lands of Hothlin to the north are considerably more dangerous than our domain, and our brother is likewise of hotter temperament, as befits his task in that place. I saw him last amongst the ruins near the shore of the Grimwater, a small lake northeast of the dwarf outpost we call Gondamon. He is likely still there. So here's the elf ruin. Small elf ruin near the Grimwater. Let's pull it up. We're here in the Hothlin. That must be the Grimwater right there, that little lake you're seeing. We're right here at the S of Lowlands. So we are just entering into the Hothlin over here, the kind of the haunted area of the Lowlands and of the Arid Luine, where we've got barrows up there, human barrows. So we need to talk to Glamir, who's apparently the hot-headed younger brother of the two, and find what kind of quest he is on. We are going to do, I think, Glamir's Vigil first. That's the one here.
Swilad Melon.
My brother Callanglil sent you. I fear that both my brothers and I have sorely underestimated the depth of the defilement of these once beautiful lands. Even with your help, I'm not sure we can do more than stem the growth, much less destroy it. Nevertheless, I'm grateful to have your aid. When you have rested a bit, let us discuss what steps we can take to deal with the sorrowful blight. Okay, so that completed Glamir's Vigil. We are going to continue down here, let this grow up until we get almost up in this territory. Let's see, quest-wise, how are our quests all looking? They're all 11th and 12th level. Let's talk Vow of Vengeance. That's the last, well, Hobnanigans is here, yes. Oh, that's going on by the, actually, yeah, that's an old quest. That was actually, let's see, can we cancel that one? I don't think we can cancel that one. I'll have to take a look. Maybe when we log in again. Because Hobnanigans, I think, was last weekend, and that's over with. But the quest is still here. Anyway, the other ones, let's not get sidetracked. Stay on target, G. Stay on target. Vow of Vengeance is the last one of our 11th level quest here. So let us go ahead and talk to him about that one. And as it says, Glamir, the elf sought assistance from Askel and the dwarves of Gondamon before heading northeast. Askel has asked you to seek him out and learn if he knows the whereabouts of Skithy Blackhand. Okay, so we'll show that. Askel was the one that, remember, we went up there and we talked to that's why we had gone into Ringdale in the first place. We went up there and we found the Dourhand captain and that new grave and the sundered shield, where the Dourhands had killed Askel's brother Gellir here. Gellir had been on a message of peace, and they had killed him, and we brought the news back to Askel. You have done me a great service, ill though your news was received. These vile Dourhands, how dare they? Gellir came to them to talk of peace, but they cut him down like a goblin. I will have my revenge. Our elders watch me too closely, for they know my temper. I cannot fight the Dourhands myself, but you. A while back an elf came here looking for information about the Dourhands. He thought they might be up to something truly terrible. He said his name was Glamir. I sent him toward the woods northeast of Gondamon. Seek him out. Maybe he knows the whereabouts of Skithy Blackhand, the leader of the Dourhands at the fortified eastern camp. My brother must have been slain at his orders. A grim and deadly warrior he is. Seek Glamir to learn Skithy's whereabouts and wreak my vengeance upon Skithy's head. Now that I think we can do. I do apologize. You will have to excuse me. Let me get a drink of my water here for a second. I haven't had to speak dwarf in a while. There we go. Woo. When you're not used to it, dwarf can be quite rough on the throat. Let's talk to Glamir about the vow of vengeance now.
Hail, friend, and well met.
Skithy Blackhand? Yes, I know of him indeed. I have seen him just beyond the main gates of the Dourhand encampment to the north. Be cautious. The going will not be easy within the walls of that encampment. So we need to defeat Skithy Blackhand. And so he is in a, I'm assuming up this way? Is it up here to the north of the dark water or whatever they call it? Or is it over here in these ruins? I'm pretty sure these ruins are the haunted barrow white infested ones. So he must be up here in this area, up further north, up this way, up above the lake or whatever is here. Okay, now we have the elf stone. And we were asked to bring an elf stone to him by Galathan. The elf Galathan, I believe he was the one that, if I remember right, he had sent us up into this area. I believe he had sent us up right up here to Dourhand. We had gotten a couple of treasures out of that area, and then I think we had put like a elf stone down to help rid the area of pest and that sort of thing. And he had asked us to go up here, if I'm remembering this correctly, and talk to Glamir and bring him a similar stone, if I remember. So let's see the history on that one. If white stir the bones of the ancient Edain, then an evil has arisen in these mountains which we should all fear. The fell spirits that stir the bones of the dead are servants of Angmar, of the Witch King of old, and of the Shadow in the east. I must ask you to seek out this evil and put whatever end you may to it before its darkness spreads. Take this elf stone to Glamir. He dwells now in the ruins to the northeast of Gondamon at the southern end of Grimwater. As you see, the elves of Gnarl'rynae remain to prepare for the last voyage of the elves, but also to ward Middle-earth from the evils that remain. Galathan gave you an elf stone and sent you to an elf named Glamir, who may be able to help you against the whites of Hothlin. So let's give him the elf stone, or tell him about the elf stone. Greetings, elf. I receive few visitors here in my home of old, but I am sure you did not come to listen to tales of yore. What brings you to these wasting halls? You say that evil whites roam the barrows to the northeast of my home. It is indeed well that Galathan sent you to me, and with the elf stone, I have a task for you if you are willing. Okay, so he's got 2 new quests, Haunted Lands and a Deadly Task. Why don't we go ahead and look at both of those?
Will you lend me your ear?
Level 14. A deathly task. Looks like we'll continue leveling on up a bit here. Looks like we've gotten the 11s out of the way. We've got a couple of 12s that are coming along, and then we've got these deadly level 14s. A deathly task. Eastern Hothlin is home to some ancient burial mounds of the Edain, the men who lived here in a past age. We have received reports of evil whites stalking these barrows and mounds. Such creatures are mere corpses animated by fell spirits, not the relics of the spirits of men. As such, they are irredeemably evil, and it is our duty to exterminate them without compunction. I do not know why these creatures are abroad in these dark days, but I suspect some working of the enemy. Be that as it may, I ask you to destroy the bodies of these evil creatures and send their spirits back to the shadow from whence they came. So we need to go over there into the barrow area and destroy 12 whites. I think we can do that. He has another quest as well. Which one is that? Haunted Lands.
You may be of service to me.
I have sorry news indeed, Gnarl'rynae. I have discovered the source of the evil that haunts this place. It seems that the years of Arnor's wars with Angmar, the Witch King sent fell spirits to stir the bones of the dead within the mounds of the Edain. Thought this foul sorcery was performed only upon the mounds of the Barrow Downs in Cardoland, but alas, we were wrong. Whites stalk our lands, and we knew it not. Please forgive me, Gnarl'rynae, but I must ask you to fight these horrible things. Try to loosen their grip on Hoth Lyn, while I search for a more permanent means of ridding the lands of their presence. So while we're over there, not only do we need to defeat whites, but we need to make sure 5 of them are mound whites, and 1 of them is a mound white archer. Okay, we can do that as well. Now, do we have anything else? I think we've talked to him about all the stuff that we have to talk to Glamir. Legiel the grocer here has a quest as well. Let's talk to her. And then we might do a little bit of inventory maintenance. Let's see, she has Sickening of the Land.
Might you spare a moment of your time?
And it's a level 12, okay. This land has been sullied before by the dwarves, and their keep on the hill, and more recently by half-orcs and Crebain. Now wicked spiders have entered the land, slaughtering the wildlife and endangering travelers. Thankfully, these evil creatures have so far only been found in the furthest northeast reaches of Hoth Lyn, but these lands would be better for their absence. Seek out the evil spiders and drive them from their lairs in the Hoth Lyn. Okay, so we need to defeat 12 of the spiders up in the area of the Hoth Lyn. It should be all up in this area. We should be where we see the spiders. I've seen them sometimes creep as far down as basically the area where these trees are. But yeah, they'll be up here in this area too. We shouldn't have too much of a trouble finding them while we're hunting the whites. Looks like another spider quest, Webs of Sorrow.
Stay a moment.
Talith Ondren, the region of Hoth Lyn to the east, was once known as the Shipwright's Grove in Westron, and it is there that many of the famed vessels of the elves were built in days long past. But the corruption that haunts it now is much greater than I or my brothers had imagined. Something malignant and evil lurks there now. Something must be done. If you would help me, then seek out the spiders that infest Talith Ondren east of here, and collect the sticky spinnerets they use to ensnare their victims. It will take me time, but I may one day discern where these terrors gain their potence. So collect spinnerets from the spiders at the Hoth Lyn. And I think the Talith Ondren is actually... this area of it up in here. She said where the shipwrights used to build their best ships was in this area. And if I remember right, once you get up in here, you see more ruins. See more like dwarf and elf ruins. There's like a dwarf ruin across the river here. And I think you can see elf ruins up this way that you can't get to. I remember longing for them all the way back in my Glenoran days. Longing for these. How can we get to those ruins? Won't it be great if we can ever travel to that fort over there, you know? But it is not to be. Alright, Nithie. We got anything that sent us up here that has anything to do with you?
Come and stay a moment.
Or are you just a fortunate quest giver here at this hub? Old Bones. You there. Perhaps you can help me with a small dispute. While I was away among the barrows to the northeast hunting for loose trinkets, I saw an old bony wight wandering about the mounds. Fortunately, it didn't notice me, but the sight fairly froze my blood. Now, my friend Galty doesn't believe me. He claims there are no barrow whites out amongst the old Edane mounds, but he's been no further than the mounds near Gondamon, and those don't seem to be haunted at all. It's only the mounds off away to the northeast. You look doughty enough to face down a white or two. Perhaps you could go out to those barrows and collect a trophy to prove I wasn't seeing things. I will pay for the service. Alright, good. So while we're defeating whites, we need to find a trophy for Nithie for his friend Galty, which I think is the grocer, maybe? I know we've talked to a Galty back over there. So he can prove that the whites are roaming these mounds again. And now the misplaced cook.
Will you help me?
Another level 14. Yeah, I think we're definitely okay leveling on past level 12 here. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I wonder if I could trouble you for a moment. A friend of mine, Bercy, struck out on his own to a grove northeast of Kelladul to collect herbs for his recipes. I warned him of the threat of vicious spiders in the area, but he laughed them off. Percy is a good fellow and a fine cook, but he can be a bit addle-brained at times. My annoyance has turned to worry. Set a dwarf's mind at ease and search for him, will you? I'm sure he's just lost track of time, but still. The spider lairs northeast of Kelladul, but what with those wretched Dourhands about, I would counsel you to take the long way around the port. Okay, so it looks like we may be finding a dwarf corpse up that way as well, up in the spider lairs. I remember this part. There's like three, I think there's 3 different elf ruins up here that have spiders dwelling in them, if I remember correctly. I think it's like 1, 2, and 3 up in that area. Alright, that's going to be interesting too. Let us see which quest we are going to see about taking on first. Although first we're going to pull Stacks up here. Let's get her on up. Pull up her deed. We definitely want to go Vow of Vengeance. So yeah, let's do the Vow of Vengeance first, where we need to go and defeat Skithy Blackhand. He is in the fortified eastern camp. Like I said, I'm thinking, let's see if we go up this way. Yeah, see, you got all these Dourhand armsmen. Let's see if we can come on up this way. Stacks, are you going to aggro on him? You sure are. There we are. Oh, we've used up our blue bar already, have we? Yes, there is a fortified camp. Look at that camp. Alright, let's see if we can fight our way on up in here. Looks like the armsmen and all should be light blue, so that shouldn't be a huge trouble. And that must be the Grim Water, or the Dark Water, or whatever they call it right over there. Let's go ahead and start on this. Let's see. That's the Embers. That's the one I meant to use first. There we are. Okay. So really, we don't have any blue, did we? I'm gonna have to take a look. I don't remember if we came in with any blue on our bar or not. But it seems like we have to be gaining experience quicker than that. I'm gonna just do something for a moment and make sure. And that's the door tortoise, and we come back. Okay, we're there. Let us see if we can get through this gate now. You have discovered the Grim Water. Okay. So this is the Grim Water. Let's come right on out here. This looks like a good travelogue location, so that is what we will do right now. I'm gonna come on right up here. It looks like a barrow, hopefully one that doesn't have a white on it. And we'll do a travelogue right quick. The Grim Water. The Grim Water is a large lake south and east of Thorin's Hall. The Dourhands had built an encampment here, from where they raid merchant wains and travelers passing between Thorin's Hall and the eastern lands. Okay, we have finished the travelogue entry. I'm going to re-summon Stacks here. And I've been able to put in a error. I put in a bug report. In the travelogue entry, you know, when I said the Grim Water is a blah, 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 blah. The first word of that sentence, the, is spelled T-H-R. So it looks like there's a proofreading error there from the very beginning days of Shadows of Angmar here. I wonder if that's an error that has never been corrected since the Grim Water the Grim Water entry was first put in. Okay, we need to see. There's Skithy Blackhand. Wow, I was thinking we were going to have to travel all the way up in that part. I wonder if that's what we had to do in the past, and they've just moved him down here to make him easier to get to. Or if he's always been down here and there's some harder person up there. I would just think that It shouldn't have been that easy. Said I won't always say that. Let's see. Brigand Slayer, Vow of Vengeance. Defeat Skithy Blackhand. All right, let us go. He's only level 12, so maybe there is a tougher Dourhand captain further up there. Let us go ahead and take a attack on him here. Uh-oh. That's not good. Let's see here. Let's see if we can fight off some of these. Uh-oh. Strength potion. Good. Okay. Let's kill that one. Get back down here on Skithy again. Come on, come on. There we go. All right, these other two shouldn't be. Oh, there went our companion. Gust of wind it. Oh, can we get away? Can we get away? No, we're in defeat. Let's go ahead and revive for free. There we are. Ooh. And I am going to go ahead and pull up our bear right quick. Let's pull up stacks. Well, that keeps us from getting any further along the path of the undying there, doesn't it? Okay, well, we won't get the level 15th or the level 20th, and that's a shame, but that's just how it goes. That is definitely how it goes. Had I known he was going to run over there and get all those, we'll go ahead and loot that wooden chest there. If I'd known he was going to go over there and aggro all of them, I would definitely have taken them out first, wouldn't I? And probably ate some food before I attacked as well, you know? I've got to remember that now that we're actually here. Now that we're actually here, we're fighting this on level, and we're not using Hobbit the Matham armor and all that. We have got to remember that we are not the nearly undefeatable fighting and killing machine that we were back with Gnarlo there. So we'll have to remember that in the future. It might be good to actually use some of this food that we're constantly gathering, wouldn't it? Okay, let's head on back. It looks like from here we need to go back talk to Askel at Gondamon and let him know that we have avenged his brother. So we are going to head back on over Gondamon way. In addition, I guess we'll have a little chat along the way. Like I said, I am sorry. It's been a few days here since we got that last episode up. Quite a while, actually. I did not realize, as I said, time gets away from you. Did not realize so much time had gone by. Have had several days at work, several long days at work, lots of people coding and stuff. Nobody actually died, at least not while they were on our floor. We were able to give them to the ICU. No deaths on our floor, but we've had numerous codes with people having issues and us having to bring them back. And then on the other hand of that, just the usual level of busyness, like I said, with the wife no longer engaging in her level of benign neglect that I think I talked about in the last episode. Actually wanting to get together, watch football games. In fact, we got one coming up later today. We got a Barcelona game at 11 o'clock, which now is only, 2.5 hours away? 3.5 hours away now that the time has changed. Time changed last night and has thrown me off terribly. Lost an hour last night, so that has screwed me over. And the other thing is I went to a big wedding last night. That's why I didn't get anything recorded yesterday, was I had a big wedding last night. A friend of hers, not really a friend of mine. I mean, it's an acquaintance of mine, but a friend of hers from when she worked on at the hospital, had gotten married. Let's see if we can figure out what this Askel is. She got married, and the guy that she was marrying is apparently loaded. He's a geek like me. In fact, they look her and her husband, new husband, look an awful lot like me and my wife, in that she is a slim, athletic beauty, and he is a somewhat less slim, somewhat less athletic nerd type, and he is a internet gambler. He's a pretty successful internet gambler, someone that actually makes money at it. And I mean, he actually does do it fairly well, because said the wedding was at a local nightclub here. He rented out a local nightclub on a Saturday night. So that to tell you one thing. This nightclub has, they do shows and all in it as well. They do performances, and it's not just like a nightclub. It's actually like a place where they have bands and stuff. The bands will come through and they'll have shows and all. So there's the ground floor and a stage and a balcony, and then there's a bar area up on the roof. And he rented the whole thing on a Saturday night. A lot of people had a live rock band downstairs after at the reception and the post party. Had a live rock band downstairs, an open bar, and had a live jazz quartet on the roof. So this guy is a very successful internet gambler. He's one of those that you see that gets online with like the fantasy football and runs, not just choosing his teams, but actually has the skills and the ability to get on there and do the whole mathematical thing with spreadsheets and stuff, and actually make quite a profit at it. And yeah, so it was a lot of fun, but that explains why I wasn't on last night, and why the night was even shorter than it already has been. So as I said, I do apologize for that. Let's talk to Askel here first.
Well met.
Ha! So you have done my will and slain the villain who killed my brother. You have done well, Gnarl'rynae. But it is strange. I feel no pleasure at this news. The Dourhands would choose a new captain and nothing will change. There must be more that we can do. Something that would truly hurt them.
Will you stay and speak with me a moment?
There we go. Looks like we're going to have to go deeper in or something. Though we Longbeards were able to throw the Dourhands out of most of our steadings after they revealed their true evil 2 years ago. Excuse me a second, water time again. There. They are as yet still too strong for us to fight them in the field. The last major Dourhand holding in Gnarl'rynae is the river port of Keladul. It is at Keladul where much of their remaining strength is concentrated, and it is at Keladul where they stockpile their stolen wealth, the treasure they robbed from us during the long years of their tyranny in Thorin's halls. You have proven yourself to be a capable warrior and a true friend. If you can raid Keladul and recover the stolen treasure, not only will you be striking a blow for Dourhand's folk, you will be dealing a sharp blow in my brother's name as well. Alright, so he's wanting us to go to Keladul and collect 6 treasure boxes while we were over there. Keladul, of course, being this dwarf area. We saw it, remember the guy that had the bow that was stolen from him here at Thrassy's Lodge. We traveled just to the outside of Keladul to kill that guy that had stolen the bow. And the ranger who is here at Thrassy's Lodge says that the elf prince, what's his name? Averthal, I think is who it is. I think it's Averthal. I think he's the elf prince that got us started all the way back over here. His kidnapping that has led us through all these adventures. I think he is the one. Averthal is the one that is being held prisoner down here. And of course the elf path and the dwarf path having joined together with him here at Thrassy's Lodge. And the next time we talk to him, we are going to go into Keladul and see if we can rescue him. Looks like there's another one here. Another Brother's Sorrow. Level 10. All right. So maybe we don't need to level up quite already. Though my brother is avenged, I fear in my sorrow I spoke too plainly to a younger dwarf who now risks his own life to avenge his own brother, a member of Gelir's company. The dwarf Sigurdor went towards Keladul to avenge his brother, but likely is at a tower on the outskirts of the port with the deposed dockmaster Svarner. We saw both of those. Remember, we saw those at at one of those towers and said, well, bet we got a quest there. There they were. Follow the road east beyond Thrassy's cabin toward the shore and keep an eye out for this Sigurdor. I pray you are not too late to stop his folly. So we need to go and talk to the two of them, and that we can do as well. Okay, so there you go. We are going to call that an episode. Let me dismiss Stacks here. Well done, Stacks. Sorry you not going to get your undying title whenever you level up and hit level 20 with me either. But there you go. And of course, I've got to jump in here. Let's see, Lotro points granted. So we know that. We finished up a deed, didn't we? Deed completed, which is Brigand Slayer. So we defeated brigands in Arid Luine, 30 brigands in the Arid Luine. Got increased reputation, and we got the title Defender of the Halls. Okay, so that must be that one. The Dourhands have proven a sore thorn in the side of Dourhand's folk, having lost the respect and trust of their kin. And then we had a deed bestowed. Brigand Slayer advanced. Might as well say Dourhand Slayer. So we need to slay another 57 of them. I don't think that's going to be a big problem. 10 Lotro points, 30 marks, a point of justice, and more increased reputation with Doran's Hall. So yeah, so there you go. I said last time I tried to say, oh, I'm going to promise I'm going to try to get some up, and then life has kind of jumped in and said otherwise with a whole bunch of plans that I didn't know that I had. Just kind of got dumped on my lap from my wife there. But yeah, one thing I can promise is I will get this up today. I will also get up a regular Gnarlo adventure today, and I can say that because both of them are already recorded. They've just got to be edited and processed and uploaded. They're already recorded, so the time-consuming, the biggest time-consuming part of it's over with. So there you are. Until next time, I'm going to be back at work for the next 2 days. So I can't promise I'm going to get anything up then, but then I'll be off again after that. So hopefully, y'all will have a good one. Remember, and as you probably saw, the treasure hunt's going on for today. It's going on this weekend. It's going on, continues through today. So get over there toward the field if you're into that sort of thing. I'm going to be over there later and trying to see if I can get the treasure goat, the one that drops the coin, see if I can find him in one of the boxes over there. So I will leave y'all there. Thank y'all for coming along. In the meantime, I'm going to think about how real life always jumps in and disputes my plans. And we will see you next time. Thanks for coming along, and thanks for following. Bye-bye.